In compliance with Chapter 231 of the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice has been given to all members of the governing body, the local source, and the Westfield Leader, the two newspapers designated to receive such notice. This notice is also posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board. Let's stand for an invocation from Council President Andre.
Dear God, thank you for bringing us together as a community this evening. Please continue to protect our friends, our family, our residents, our police department, our fire department, our rescue squad. And please continue to help guide this governing body in making the best decisions for our community. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Martha, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Here.
Councilman Dierkes?
Here.
Councilman Matijak?
Here.
Councilman Messler?
Here.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Here.
Councilwoman Pater?
Here.
Okay, first we have the approval of the minutes of the regular session meeting on June 15th, 2021.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a
Second.
second. Second, poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Here.
Yes.
Sorry, yes. Here and yes.
Okay, next we have the work and executive session meeting of July 6, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Okay, next we have a resolution of commendation. It's Resolution 91-2021, which I'm going to be reading. Whereas a member of the support staff in the Mountainside Police Department is retiring after having served in that position for over 18 years. They don't bother me, don't worry. Whereas her work internally in our police department was always characterized by competence, decorum, and discretion. Whereas her work and activities as a borough resident helped integrate our police department beyond a solely law enforcement function into the broader life of the Mountainside community. Whereas she accomplished this by helping found the Mountainside Police Athletic League and encouraging activities that have become annual events anticipated by young people and adults alike, such as the PAL Cop Trot. Whereas she herself has been one of the borough's first responders as a member of the rescue squad for many years. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and the council of the Borough of Mountainside, on behalf of our fellow residents, do hereby extend to Corinne Moore our thanks and appreciation for her many years of invaluable service to her fellow residents and the earnest hope that she will enjoy a long and happy retirement in our community. So we have a resolution. Shall we make a motion on the resolution? We get a vote on that, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's done. What'd you think, you were gonna get away with that? Say a couple words, come on, you gotta entertain the kids a little bit.
I've done enough.
Well, congratulations on your retirement. We really appreciate all the service you've given to this community, especially as the rescue squad. For the Mountainside PA cop trot. Early years were some of the best cop trots that we ever had. So I want to congratulate you. You sure you don't want to say a few words to the crowd here? Come on, give her a big round of applause. No, I'm sorry to tell you, you all have to stay. You can't leave. Don't you want to see how we work here? No. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. What?
Just real quick, I just want to say thank you for you've been awesome. We've worked together for so long. The chief couldn't be here, so I've been lucky enough just to say a couple of words. Truly going to miss you at the front desk. Always here. It's Corrine, like Maureen, that she talked to everybody on the phone and explaining. We've been through so much. The police department's going to be a little sadder place without you. Hopefully, I don't know if we can find anybody to fill your shoes, but you're going to be sorely missed by everyone. We cannot thank you. You're always there for fundraisers, PVA events, anything going on in town. You mean so much to us and the entire police department in the town. Thank you so much.
Okay, this is your chance to make a dash for the door. Let's go.
Thank you, guys.
No problem. Bye. You want to bring them all up and take a picture? Corinne, want to have a picture? Want to bring them all up? We'll have a picture? The whole family?
Yeah, can we do that?
Yes, yes, have them come up, yes.
Round them up.
Michael, you got the camera? You got your camera?
We'll have it in 30 seconds.
Okay. Come on in, take a picture. You have to do it. Tell them the mayor said so.
Send the cops out.
If not, we're going to get the police to get you back in here.
How cute that little boy is.
Thank you.
Why don't you move that podium back so you guys got more room?
Oh, it moves?
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
there you go.
That's good. Okay. Oh, Connor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think Michael
Thank you all
Jackson's
so
coming
much.
with his camera. If you want to wait one more minute,
What do you need?
Michael's coming with his camera. Michael Jackson. Here he comes. Okay.
Now we're really holding them up. Come here, guys. Come here. Come here. Go back where you were. One more. One more.
On the count of 37.
Smile. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No, I was really
Bye, Bill.
I'm escorting you guys.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Okay, so next we have some resolutions. First one is Resolution 77-2021. Rachel?
Yes, Resolution 77, 2021, authorizing the mayor and municipal clerk of the municipality of Mountainside to execute an agreement with the County of Union to modify the cooperative agreement dated June 2014 as amended July 2017. This is to modify the CDBG cooperative agreement. There are federal funds are potentially available to the County of Union under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Block Grant Act of 1974. Certain federal funds are potentially available to the County of Union under Title II of the National Affordable Housing Act of 1990, commonly known as the Home Investment Partnership. And whereas substantial federal funds provided through Title B of Title IV of the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act, commonly known as the Emergency Solution Grant, are allocated to prevent homelessness and to enable homeless individuals and families to move toward independent living. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and governing body of the Borough of Mountainside that an agreement entitled Cooperative Agreement between the County of Union and certain municipalities for conducting certain community development activities and dated June 2014 as amended July 2017 for the purpose of inserting a description of activities for fiscal year 2021 to 2022 of the Union County Community Development Block Grant Program, the Home Investment Partnership Program, and the Emergency Shelter Program, a copy of which is attached to be executed by the mayor and municipal court in accordance with the provision of law. And for Mountainside, that is in the amount of $10,750 for the Mountainside Senior Citizens Social Services Program. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 78-2021. Donna?
Resolution 78-2021, whereas the labor attorney is required to perform services for the borough beyond the scope of the services upon which his salary is based. Whereas the appropriate borough official has determined that the value of these services will exceed $17,500, but not to exceed $45,000 over the life of the contract. This maximum dollar value is based on a reasonable estimate of the services required over the contract term, and the Borough of Mountainside is not obligated to spend that amount. Whereas Vincent J. Abruzzo, a member of the firm Abruzzo, McDermott, Mastro, and Murphy, PC, will complete and submit a business entity disclosure certification which certifies that it has made any reportable contributions to a political candidate or candidate committee in the Borough of Mountainside in the previous year, and acknowledging that the contract will prohibit it from making any reportable contributions through the term of the contract. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the governing body of the Borough of Mountainside and the Abruzzo, McDermott, Mastro, and Murphy PC be the labor attorney, and is appointed to perform such legal services and may be required by the governing body and which are beyond the scope of the services upon the labor attorney's salary is based upon. So moved.
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Everybody's had lunch today.
Okay, next we have Resolution 79-2021. Bob?
Yes, Mayor, this is a bid for contract 2021-4 for paving improvements to High Point Road, Larkspur Drive, and Pheasant Hill Road. There were 6 contractors that put the bid package and bid on it. The lowest bidder being AJM Contractors with a base bid of $299,999.70 and 2 alternates for some additional concrete work and sewer work for $13,910 and $7,400. So the borough engineer recommends awarding the base bid to AJM Contractors in the amount of $321,300.70. So moved.
Second.
Motion, we have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yeah.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 80-2021. Renee?
Yes. New Jersey requires the governing body of every local unit to have made an annual audit of its books, accounts, and financial transaction. So therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside have complied with the promulgation of the local finance board and hereby submitted a certified copy of this resolution and required affidavit to said board to show evidence of said compliance. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Just for the record, this is the 12th year in a row that the audit found no comments, which is unprecedented in the state of New Jersey. There's no other town that I'm aware of that have had 12 consecutive years of no audit comments. That's a true testament to our CFO, Jill Good, her staff, as well as the rest of the borough staff. It's a fantastic job. They do it year in and year out, and I'm very thankful for the assistance that they give me throughout the year, and especially in developing in the budget. So congratulations, and I commend you all. Next, we also have Resolution 81-2021. I'm not sure why we need a corrective plan, because there was no corrections necessary, but we still have to pass a resolution. So, Steve, that'll be you.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Resolution 81-2021, whereas the Chief Finance Officer is required to submit a corrective action plan of the 2020 municipal audit to the governing body. Now therefore be it resolved that the following 2020 audit corrective action plan submitted by the Chief Finance Officer be and the same is hereby approved, and be it further resolved that a certified copy of the 2020 audit corrective action plan be forwarded to the Division of Local Governance Services. The 2020 audit corrective action plan, recommendation, none. Corrective actions, none. So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion, we got a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Okay, next we have Resolution 82-2021. Deanna?
Thank you. It looks like we have a refund for pool membership in the amount of $345. So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second, poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Okay, next we have Resolution 83-2021. Donna, that would be you.
Resolution 83-2021 is for the purchase of a police vehicle. Whereas the Borough of Mountainside intends to enter into a purchase contract with Winter Ford in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, pursuant to state contract number 20, fleet number 0189, for the acquisition of a police truck. Whereas the cost of the 2021 Ford 150 with options under the state contract is $33,400. Now therefore be it resolved, the governing body of the Borough of Mountainside, County of Union, State of New Jersey, that the purchase of one 2021 Ford F-150 with options in the amount of $33,400 under the terms and provisions of the state contract number 20-fleet-01189 be and hereby is approved. So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 84-2021. Rachel?
Yes, Resolution 84-2021, we had a vacancy in the position of part-time electrical inspector, and our borough administrator has recommended that the Borough Council take action to hire Michael Jusefic to fill this position. The Borough Council of the Borough of Mountainside be appointed as a part-time electrical inspector, the rate of $40 an hour, not to exceed 6 hours a week, effective July 29th, 2021. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 85-2021. Renee?
Yes, be it resolved by the governing body that it's going to exercise the option to renew a contract for an additional 2-year term, and that is with Robert LaFera for snow and ice removal, and the new contract will expire July 31st, 2023. So moved.
Okay,
Second.
we got a motion, we got a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Resolution 86-2021 is going to be tabled at this time, so we're going to move on to Resolution 87-2021. However, before we pass this resolution, we have to hold a hearing pursuant to the requirements of the NJDEP Green Acres Program, and our attorney, John Post, will give a little explanation for that.
Yes, Mayor, the borough is in discussions regarding the potential or possible acquisition of some recreational fields by the Our Lady of Lourdes Church. And as part of that general consideration by the governing body is taking the opportunity to see whether Green Acres funding might be available to assist in the acquisition of that property if the governing body ultimately determines to go forward with it. And so what this resolution does tonight is to simply authorize the governing body to go forward with the application process. That's the extent of the commitment that is made tonight. That we do have to have a public hearing because the state and the Green Acres people want to know that indeed the governing body is behind this. So we have to have a public hearing. We've advertised it in the newspapers and on our website. And then once we've had the public hearing tonight, the council can go ahead and vote on the resolution.
I can also tell the public that we have received letters of support from the Union County Planning Board, also from the Mountainside PAL, as well as the Mountainside Softball and Baseball Association, and I also believe we got one from the Mountainside Recreation Department. So clearly this is a project that has wide community support, so it certainly makes a lot of sense for us to move forward, to file the application with Green Acres. So in the event we do take the opportunity to purchase it, we'll be able to take advantage of some Green Acres funding, which has just become available, and we actually just met the deadline and we filed the application. And so that's the purpose of the hearing tonight. So at this time, I would open up the hearing to the public, if anyone has any public comment. Okay, seeing none, then we're going to ask for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of closing the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
The hearing is closed. Okay, no, so now we have Resolution 87-2021. Bob, you're going to handle that.
Mayor, before I read this, would you mind just giving a little explanation of the property we're talking about so people understand what it is?
It's the fields behind Our Lady of Lourdes Church, the basketball courts, the playground, the swings, what's been used as a soccer field, and the two baseball fields behind Our Lady of Lourdes. It's all open space that we're considering purchasing to make sure it remains as open space. It's very important for us.
Okay. Whereas the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Green Acres Program provides loans and other grants to municipality and county governments and grants to nonprofit organizations for the assistance in the acquisition, development, and stewardship of lands for outdoor recreation and conservation purposes. Whereas the Borough of Mountainside desires to further the public interest by obtaining the funding in the amount of $478,000 in the form of a $478,000 matching grant from the state fund for the following project: Our Lady of Lourdes Fields, which will cost $1,912,000. Therefore, the governing body resolves that Paul Marabelli, Mayor of Mountainside, and his successor designee is authorized to make application for such a loan and a grant, provide application information and furnish documents as may be required, and act as authorized correspondent to the above-named applicant. Whereas the state shall determine if the application is complete and in conformance of the scope and intent of the Green Acres programs, notify the applicant of the amount of funding after funding award. Whereas the applicant is willing to use state funds in accordance with such rules, regulations, applicable statutes, and is willing to enter into an agreement with the state of the above-named project. Therefore, further resolved, the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside that the amount of application and its matching share of the project, if the match is required, the amount of $1,434,000, that the event the state's funds are less than the total project cost specified above, the applicant has the balance of the funding necessary to complete the project. The applicant agrees to comply with all applicable federal, state, and local laws and rules and regulations in the performance of the project, and their resolution shall take effect immediately. So moved.
Second.
We have a second. Before we do vote, I want to make it very clear that this is only an authorization to apply for Green Acres funding. It's subject to us entering into a formal agreement with the Archdiocese of Newark in connection with this field. But this was necessary because the funding deadline for the application was July 15th, which we filed the application in a timely fashion. But as part of that application, we have to have this hearing tonight. But it's subject to us formalizing and entering into an agreement with Our Lady of Lourdes. So poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Mattajak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 88-2021. Donna?
Resolution 88-2021. Whereas the Police Committee of the Borough Council and representatives of the PBA Local 126 representing members of the Police Department PBA have conducted negotiations for the purpose of establishing salary and benefits for the members of the department for the period from January 1, 2020 through December 31st, 2026. Whereas such negotiations were successfully concluded in a historical short period of time, resulting in a recommendation to the governing body regarding salary and benefits. Whereas the governing body reviewed the police committee's recommendations and at its July 6, 2021 meeting, and determined that the police committee's recommendation would be in the best interest of the borough. Whereas the borough's Labor Council is preparing the collective bargaining agreement and will be required to implement the terms that have been accepted by the governing body. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside that the appropriate borough officials be and they hereby are authorized to sign the collective bargaining agreement between the borough and PBA Local 126 establishing salary and benefits for the members of the department for the period from January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2026, when such collective bargaining agreements have been prepared by the Borough's Labor Council and signed by the PBA Local 126. So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second, and we need to make sure that there's a correction in the resolution. The hearing date, which Donna correctly stated, is July 6, 2021, not 2001. So with that correction, poll the council, please.
Did I get a second on that, Mayor?
Yeah, we did, actually.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Mattajak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Okay, next we have Resolution 89-2021. Rachel, you want to read that, please?
Yes, this resolution memorializes the passing of former Detective Sergeant Walter Bettyman. Whereas our former Detective Sergeant Walter Bettyman passed away on July 4th, 2021 at age 83, and whereas Walter spent most of those 83 years living in Mountainside and working to ensure that our town would reflect the values of integrity, charity, good cheer, civic responsibility, and community service that he cherished, and by which he lived his life. And whereas to those ends, Walter was a Mountainside police officer from 1960 to 1979, attaining the rank of Detective Sergeant. And whereas after serving in the U.S. Navy aboard the USS Forrestal from 1955 to 1959, he and his wife, Anne Marie, raised their family in Mountainside. And whereas our town has been so much the better in so many ways for Walter's presence in our midst. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the current members of the governing body of the Borough of Mountainside, recognize Walter Bettyman's service to our community and that we extend our condolences to Walter's widow, Anne Marie, and to the rest of his family. So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Mattajak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 90-2021.
Okay.
That's you, Renee.
Yes, I know. On July 23rd, 2018, the borough entered into a redevelopment agreement with the Garnicle Group for construction of 26 market condominium units and 6 affordable condominium units on the Barnes Track. The Garnicle Group has requested that such redevelopment agreement be amended and assign its rights and obligations under the terms of such redevelopment agreement to High Point Development. Both the Garnaco Group and High Point Development have requested that a reverter clause that appears in paragraph 10.7 of the redevelopment agreement be eliminated. Both requests were considered at length by the Barnes Tract Committee that had been created by the governing body. The Barnes Tract Committee met with the Garnaco Group and High Point Development on several occasions, and after considering the requests, made a report to the governing body dated July 3rd, 2020, first, which it recommended that the governing body grant the requests. So therefore be resolved by the mayor and council in the Borough of Mountainside that the appropriate borough officials be and thereby authorized to sign an amendment to the July 23rd, 2018 redevelopment agreement between the borough and the Garnaco Group. So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion, we have a second.
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Okay, next we have second reading on ordinance 1296-2021. Deanna?
This ordinance is the operation of any class of cannabis businesses within its geographical boundaries and amending Chapter 22 of the Land Use Ordinance of Borough of Mountainside. Whereas in 2020, New Jersey voters approved public question number 1, which amended the New Jersey Constitution to allow for the legalization of a controlled form of marijuana called cannabis for adults at least 21 years of age. And whereas on February 22nd, 2021, Governor Murphy signed into law PL 2021, known as the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Enforcement Assistance, the Marketplace Modernization Act, or the Act, which legalizes the recreational use of marijuana by adults 21 years of age or older, and establishes a comprehensive regulatory and licensing scheme for commercial recreational use. Whereas the Act establishes 6 marketplace classes of licensed businesses, including Class 1, cannabis cultivator license for facilities involved in growing and cultivating cannabis. Class 2, cannabis manufacturer license for facilities involved in manufacturing, preparation, and packaging of cannabis items. Class 3, cannabis wholesaler license for facilities involved in obtaining and selling cannabis items for later resale by other licensees. Class 4 cannabis distributor license for businesses involved in transporting cannabis plant in bulk from unlicensed cultivator to another licensed cultivator, or cannabis items in bulk from any type of licensed cannabis businesses to another. Class 5 cannabis retailer license for location at which cannabis items and related supplies are sold to consumers. And finally, Class 6 cannabis delivery license for businesses provided courier service for consumer purchases that are fulfilled by a licensed cannabis retailer in order to make deliveries of the purchased items to a consumer, and which service would include the ability of a consumer to make a purchase directly through the cannabis delivery service, which would be presented by the delivery service for fulfillment by a retailer and then delivered to a consumer. Whereas, at the conclusion of the initial and subsequent 5-year period following a failure to enact local regulations or prohibits, this municipality shall again have 180 days to adopt an ordinance regulating or prohibiting cannabis businesses, but any such ordinance would be prospective only and would not apply to any cannabis businesses already operating within the municipality. We are not partaking in any of the marketplace classes. This ordinance shall take effect upon this passage and publication and filing with the Mountainside Planning Board, and as otherwise provided by the law. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Okay, next we have first reading on ordinance 1297-2021. Bob, you're going to do that.
Yes, Mayor. After many years of effort on part of the beautiful Mountainside Committee, the borough attorney, the borough employees, with help of the New Jersey DEPA Green Acres program, I'm very happy to read this ordinance. It's an ordinance an ordinance to appropriate the sum of $820,000 for the purchase of Block 14, lots 15.01 and 15.03, commonly known as 90 New Providence Road and 903 New Providence Road, respectively, in the Borough of Mountainside. Whereas the governing body of the Borough of Mountainside is desirous to purchase Blocks 14, lots 15.01 and 15.03, commonly known as 90 New Providence Road and 903 Mountain Avenue. And whereas the funds in the amount of $820,000 will be needed to purchase these lots, whereas the borough has applied for and will receive a grant of $56,250 towards the purchase of the properties, and whereas Beautiful Mountainside has applied for and will receive a grant of $250,000 towards the purchase of the properties, whereas the borough and Beautiful Mountainside have entered into agreement where Beautiful Mountainside will apply the grant it receives towards the purchase price and deed its interest in the properties to the borough. Now therefore be it ordained by the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside that the sum of $820,000 be and is hereby appropriated to purchase Block 14, lots 15.0 and 15.03, commonly known as 90 New Providence Road and 903 903 Mountain Avenue, respectively, in the Borough of Mountainside as follows: $250,000 New Jersey Green Acres grant from Beautiful Mountainside, $56,250 Green Acres grant from the Borough of Mountainside, and $513,750 for miscellaneous reserves and the sale of municipal assets. This ordinance shall take effect upon final passage and publication as required by law. So moved.
Just, we have a second?
Second.
Before we vote on this, we are also actively seeking additional funding by way of grants in order to help fund this. Also, any funds that we have to put in is going to come from the funds that we received from the sale of the Barnes tract. So the appropriation of these funds will in no way affect the taxes in Mountainside. Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
I have to say, I'm very impressed with all the monies you all raised to get this project done. Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Okay, next we have, again, another first reading on ordinance, on ordinance 1298-2021. You'll have your time in audience participation. Don't worry. Steve, have you?
Ordinance 1298-2021, an ordinance to amend Chapter 6, Section 6-4.2 of the Borough of permitting holders of plenary distribution licenses to open for business at 11 a.m. on Sundays. Whereas a holder of a plenary distribution license has requested that the borough permits such licensees to open for business at 11 a.m. on Sundays rather than at noon, and whereas the governing body has determined that such request is reasonable. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside, Chapter 6, Section 6-4.2 of the Borough Code is hereby amended to provide plenary distribution between the hours of 2 a.m. and 11 a.m. The ordinance shall take effect upon the final passage and publication as required by law. So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Matijak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
There's one addition to the agenda. We have a motion for an approval of an off-premise draw raffle from the Mountainside Restoration Committee. I need a motion for that approval.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Next, we have bills and claims. That would be you, Renee.
Yep. Be resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside that the following bills of the persons named and for the amount stated below have been duly audited and found to be correct on the 20th day of July 2021. The same be paid after council's review, if and when funds are available, and that the mayor, council president, administrator, and treasurer are hereby authorized and directed to sign and deliver warrants for same.
Got a motion, we got a second?
Second.
Okay. Poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes?
Yes.
Councilman Mattajak?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Pacifico?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater?
Yes.
Okay, so at this time, we'll entertain any council comments.
I have. We have our first poolside adult event coming up August 6th from 8 to 11. It's $50 per person. It includes Southern food and a live band. Alcohol is available to purchase. That's why we're asking it to be 21 years of age and older. I hope you can all enjoy it and join us. And I also just want to congratulate Corinne Moore. Thank you for your service.
Anyone else? Rachel? I know Rachel does.
I would like to thank the Mountainside Restoration Committee, specifically John Sharkey, for all the historic photographs that he's been organizing and we've been posting on the Mountainside Facebook page for the last 9 weeks. The photographs have encompassed many subjects to include the fire department, the rescue squad, school teams, businesses, and past celebrations. We've received so many positive comments from current and even past residents that they really enjoy our history. We're going to continue to post these photographs weekly, usually on Wednesday or Thursday. And if you can follow the borough on Facebook at Mountainside Borough, where all official borough business is shared. And for our seniors, I'd like to announce something from Union County. There is a farmers market voucher program, which is available to seniors who are 60 and older. You can obtain these vouchers via mail, but the qualifications entail that a single person's annual income not exceed $1,986 per month, and for a married couple, combined income may not exceed $2,686 per month. Each eligible senior can obtain 5 vouchers worth $6 each for a total of $30 to purchase Jersey Fresh, fruits, vegetables, and herbs at farmers markets. Now, there are 10 farmers markets in Union County, but I'm just going to give you the 4 that are closest to Mountainside. There's one in Scotch Plains, there's one in Springfield, there's one in Summit, and there's one in Westfield. Any eligible senior can request a voucher application form by calling the Union County Division on Aging at 908-527-4870 or 888-280-8226, weekdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And this voucher program for the farmers market is a first-come, first-served basis, so if you are interested, please do give a call. Thank you.
And I'm assuming all that information is on our website and Facebook page? Okay, great. Any other council comments? Well, for the,
Mayor,
sorry.
just the passage of the potential Mountainside Common area. This is a drawing that we have here that is just an idea of what it could look like. That'll come along as we get further along the line. But this is a picture that I hope we can see on TV of potentially what this is the corner of New Providence Road and Mountain Avenue across from Public House. That's kind of been an eyesore for 8 or 10 years since the house has been removed. I don't know how long it's been exactly, but it'll be hopefully move forward to cleaning up that property in the near future to at least stabilize it, make it a lot better looking until we can come along with the funds and plan to go forward and execute the Mountainside Common. So.
For all those who attended the fireworks, it turned out to be a great fireworks show as usual. The crowd was down, I would say, a little bit, but it was almost all Mountainside residents, which we were very happy to see. In the past, we've attracted more outsiders, and this was really a true community event. Since we have some of the members here tonight, I do want to thank Mountainside Beautiful for all the work they do, especially in downtown Mountainside. You freshen it up all the time. It really makes it look nice down there, and we certainly appreciate all of your efforts, not only in downtown, but around the whole town. I know I see Todd every other Saturday or so out collecting garbage on 22, and they all do a fantastic job to keep Mountainside beautiful, so thank you very much. So now we have any public comments. You have to come up and give us your address, please.
Todd Evans, 1487 Coles Avenue. But we just wanted to show up here today Despite COVID, despite everything, we're so thrilled to see this project move forward. Every one of you has really been super positive, and for our organization, and we promise that we're going to make this something that's going to benefit the whole town, and that we're all of you are going to be proud of. So we really appreciate the unanimous support too tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on, Alice, I know you got to say something. Come on.
First off,
You got to give us your name and address, please, young lady.
Young Bush, Alice Cowell, 1417 Orchard Road, Mountainside. I just love this town, and I love all you guys. The support you give us, whether it be Hetfield House or Mountainside Beautiful. And without Bob, who's our gun-ho guy, this wouldn't have came about. We started with wood blocks of a tree being left on the triangle. And some of us on Facebook talked about it, and I said, well, why don't we form a committee, meet at Hetfield House, and look at what it's become into. It's wonderful. But without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we've done, because our mayor always says yes to us, and he helps us. So we really, really appreciate. It's a wonderful town to live in. It's a wonderful town to be a part of, a wonderful town to help make beautiful.
Thank you, Alice. No one else? Okay. All right, so at this time, we're going to go into an executive session, a short executive session, whereas the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey permits the public to be excluded from certain matters to be discussed by the governing body, whereas the mayor and council desire to discuss personnel and contracts and, I guess, potential litigation, whereas the public disclosure of the results of this discussion will be made as soon as matters discussed have been resolved by the governing body of the Borough of Mountainside. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside that the aforesaid matters shall be discussed in closed session upon adoption of this resolution. Like I said, it's contracts and personnel. So I need a motion to go into exec. We have a second. All in favor of going to exec, say aye.
Aye.